representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for immediate release of this minister in the Temple of Justice.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank.
POS operator, she said 3,000 naira is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth.
It's my pleasure to welcome you all this very good morning to Open Conversation on Atlantic Television Network. Open Conversation is the network's flagship political platform through which trending political news, events and stories are discussed with stakeholders. Through these conversations, ATN uses political talks about specific issues, party systems, and actors to explore hope and engender positive impact to the society. I am your guest, Raymond Ken Mbata, standing in for Laurentia Ogu for the meantime. I am going to introduce our guest shortly after this break. Stay tuned.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for immediate release of this minister in the Temple of Justice.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank.
POS operator, she said 3,000 naira is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth. The oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the tongue thing. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Good to have you back on Open Conversation on Atlantic Television Network right here in the big city of Port Harcourt. For the stories lined up today, Rivers State APC accuses Fubara as court reserves judgment. In Kogi State, SDP and the candidate challenge Ododo's victory at the appeal court. In Gombe State, Governor Yahaya urges RMAFC to increase state allocation. We'll move on to Taraba State. Outrage as Governor Abu appoints a murder suspect. In Kano State, Federal High Court rules against Sanusi. The state reappoints. And in politics, PRP urges President Tinubu to shun IMF policies. On with us today to dissect these political topics for today is our guest, Barrister Ndamzi Ekulo. He's a legal practitioner and also a political analyst. It's a pleasure having you on Open Conversation, sir.
Good morning, brother. Good morning, listeners.
We are going to start with the first story for today, but before then, we are going to introduce the second guest we have on set today. He is by the name of Goodluck Ebimobowe Timothy. He is a political analyst joining us on Open Conversation on Atlantic Television Network right here in the city of Port Harcourt. Discussing on the River State issue, APC accuses Fubara as court reserves judgment. The ruling All Progressive Congress has accused Governor Siminalayi Fubara of being the sole architect of crisis rocking River State in recent times. The APC noted that the People's Democratic Party's allegations that APC was engaged in a plot to forcefully take over the government of River State were ridiculous and baseless. A statement by the National Publicity Secretary of APC, Felix Moka, on Thursday said PDP offered no justification for its claim except to misrepresent and amplify the comments reportedly made by the chairman of the River State APC Caretaker Committee, Chief Tony Okocha, while sweeping under the carpet the salient issues underpinning the festering crisis in Rivers State. According to the APC spokesman, Governor Fubara has continued to expend public funds without lawful appropriations by a duly constituted legislature, thereby undermining the will of the people of Rivers State and their right to effective and accountable democratic governance. And in a related development, the Court of Appeal in Abuja has reserved judgment in the appeal brought by the former Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Martins Amehule, and 24 others against the Speaker, Victor Kujumbo, and 5 others. The court decided to adjourn after all parties involved in the case presented their arguments. During the virtual section held on Thursday, Amehule and others requested the court to halt the implementation of a high court ruling that removed them from office and pause any further actions in the case and nullify any decisions made by Jumbo while in office. They also sought a speedy resolution of the matter, arguing that the trial court overstepped its authority. After listening to the submissions of the lawyers in the appeal, the 3-man panel led by Justice Jimmy Olukayode Bada reserved a date for judgment to be communicated to the parties in the suit. Additionally, the appeal court instructed that no other court, including the State High Court, should handle the case until a final decision was reached. And now to the discussion proper. I'll start with our guest just coming in. He is by the name of Goodluck Ebimobowe Timothy. It's a pleasure having you, sir. It's a pleasure. With the present impasse, which has also gotten to the court of law, and the pronouncement of the reservation of judgment until further notice, what will be the fate of the Rivers State House of Assembly as at now, sir?
Well, what will be their fate? The court has already said we should hold on. But these persons have left their seat for a very long time. It's better they know that. They should know that. Because even their paymaster or whoever that they are following said it, that you cannot come in through umbrella and you want broom tomorrow.
Oh, which of the factions are you talking about, sir?
I'm talking about the Martin Amewule led faction.
Okay, continue, sir.
Yes. You know, I screwed through the video. You see, that's why we should mind the things. As I sit down here now, I should mind what I say. Because this media does not forget. The media does not forgive. It gets back to me tomorrow, whatever I say here, that is wrong. And so, even their paymaster said that you cannot come in through umbrella and one broom tomorrow. So, in this case, I know the court will give the final verdict, which is they have lost their seat for a very long time.
Okay. By standards, sir, Felix Moka of the APC, National APC, has said that Governor Siminalayi Fubara is the sole architect of the crisis rocking Rivers State. Do you agree with that position, sir?
I disagree with Felix Moka completely. Maybe he hasn't been following up a ton of events in the state. And APC being the party in the center and the opposition in the state, ordinarily wouldn't wish the PDP well down here. We know the genesis of the crisis, and we are all aware of what has recently happened in the state. So I disagree completely with the acting national chairman of APC in that position.
In the vein of the fact that youths and average citizens had congregated in protest at the gates of the various secretariats in the 23 local government areas of the state. And you knowing how volatile Rivers State is when it comes to political matters and violence that attends to it. The governor did not take immediate steps until much later in the day to call an emergency security meeting. Does this play into what Felix Morka is also insinuating?
Yes, like I reiterated before, I disagree with Honorable Felix Morka. I disagree with him because the dramatists personnel who are the former local government chairman in the state, did mobilization to blocking whomever to come and assess the various local governments in the state, and that led to confrontation, provocation, and all that. And you see, we are in a society where we take everything for granted. We play politics with everything, and it has not been helping the system. People have abdicated from the truth. People no longer speak the truth. The dramatics personnel, they are looking at the fact that Court of Appeal will say something about tenure elongation. That's not true, because those are not the issues before the court. The issues before the court are simple. The Martin Samehule-led faction went to the court for court to look at the restraining order from Justice Wale, and also the order which invalidated them as House of Assembly member, and also the one who ordered that Justice Oko becomes, the Speaker Oko becomes the current Speaker. So these are issues before the court, and previously we had an interlocutory order and an interim order. So what the Court of Appeal is going to do is to consolidate this order and come up with a decision whether or not what happened in the High Court was in line with the law. The local government chairmen were not parties to that suit. So there is no way court will give you what you never asked for. And another position we need to set the record straight here for Nigerians to understand is this. There was a judgment of a High Court from Justice C. Wale, which restrained Martins and others. Okay? So now, the onus before the court is simple. On May 20th, there was a judgment of High Court also from Justice Dr. Dakote Mekio, okay? Yeah. Which invalidated the position of Martins and Co., okay, and declared the amendment of the local government law number 2 of 2024 unconstitutional, and set that amendment aside. So now you see the Court of Appeal, what the Court of Appeal will do is to consolidate all these orders from the High Court and come up with a position. There is nowhere in any of these issues that states that the local government chairmen we are joined in that particular case, and that there will be a judgment to that effect, stating that tenure elongation is accepted or otherwise. The questions before the court are just very clear. Setting aside of the amendment law 2024, Rivers State Local Government Law 2024, and also the restraining order.
Okay. Coming to you, sir. One of the accusations given by the APC spokesman, that is that Governor Fubara has been expending public funds without lawful appropriation. And also, there is also the case of the swearing in of the caretaker committee chairman as giving approval to do that by the Okojombo-led assembly. Does the Okojombo assembly have a quorum to be able to pass such decrees?
Okay, thank you very much. You know, sometimes I laugh when I hear some things. He said he's accusing the governor of misappropriation of funds.
Yes.
Now, do you have proof for that? Where is the proof? What has no? You are River State. What is the proof that the governor has been spending money unnecessarily? For me, I've not seen any aspect that this current administration spent money unnecessarily. Because I have, let me not mention the venues where I have been with the government, with the governor, where he came to do where he came for programs, invited, flag off and other things. I've been in most of the train. But I've never heard where he would just be throwing money all around. It will shock you that even on the May Day celebration, the governor was supposed to declare a certain amount given to the workers. He forgot because he knows that his government is not here to spend money unnecessarily. So it was reminded him later before he gave the workers 100 million. I was there. Now, talking about the Victor Okojumbo, you see, the law has recognized them. You understand? So since they are recognized, they can go ahead and pass laws, and it's accepted. So they are in line with what they are doing. Because now, if you ask this question now, the tenures of the local government has expired. Do you want that place to remain vacuum? It should not be like that. Do we shut down the local government without bringing either a caretaker committee that can run the council for 3 months? Then we'll plan election. So they are in line. And with what my lawyer had just said there, he said that their case is nowhere to be found. They are trying to run around to cut corners to see how they can be relevant. They are no longer relevant in the state. So the Victor Okojumbo led state assembly is what we know as it stands. So many persons have been saying this. So for me, let's allow peace reign. You understand? Everybody has his time to shine. So that's why I'll say it again. Be careful of the things you do. These persons feel like, let me work with one person and not the interest of the state. What we are looking at is the interest of the state where you are elected to represent. But you don't want to look at the interest of the state. You are looking at the interest of one man. How would that work? That will not work. So that is why when you fall apart, you know what happened to Satan. Pride came in and he fell, and he was looking for corners. So I'm saying that these persons should accept defeat and allow the governor of River State and Martin and Victor Okojumbo to proceed. And very soon the INEC should come up with elections. I don't know what they are waiting for.
Okay, let's be guided according to the Constitution. Barrister Ndabzi, what's your position concerning the authorities that the Okojumbo-led House has to be able to take positions on quorum matters, things that determine the 10%, one third, of the forming a quorum?
Yes, I will begin by saying, yes, it is right that Section 96 of the Constitution allows for 1/3 quorum to be formed before a decision will be taken in the House. But in this instance, what happened, the framers of the Constitution did not contemplate the fact that a day will come when almost all the members of the House will vacate the House to another party.
Yes.
The framers did not envisage all that happening. So I would rather say, as a lawyer, my advice would be that parties maintain status quo like the court have said. There was a court judgment which recognized Okojumbo. So as law-abiding citizens, the best position would be that we maintain decorum, okay? We maintain status quo and allow the process to run in court. Good thing, it is already in the Court of Appeal. Let the Court of Appeal tell Nigerians that this is the true position of the law, and let the law take its course. No man can be bigger than the state. That is the truth. So I will advise parties out there to be law-abiding and allow the court processes to run. Then I would like to lend a voice on the legality or otherwise of the caretaker committee members. I have read in different forums, even colleagues, discussing in disagreeing that the governor have acted unconstitutional in appointing caretaker committee. But my position will be that position is wrong. The governor did not violate the constitution in any way in appointing caretaker committee. Let us go by section 7 of the 1999 constitution as amended. Yes, the constitution is very clear and trite that there should be a system of a democratically elected local government chairman in the various local government. But go down that section. It also gives powers to the states to make laws on how the local governments will be governed. Okay, and I am very, very particular about the law number 5 of Rivers State Local Government Law number 5 of 2018. It is embedded in that law that at the expiration of the tenure of a local government, in the event where the State Independent Electoral Commission have not brought out a timetable for election, the vacuum must be filled. The law allows the governor to appoint a caretaker for a 3-month tenure, pending when the state INEC reconciles their timetable. Okay, but now, why this confusion is this? Some are arguing, but there have been an amendment to this law number 5 of 2018. You forget that a court of competent jurisdiction, we are speaking law here, we are not playing politics. A court of competent jurisdiction have declared that amendment of law number 2, Rivers State Local Government Law number 2 of 2024, unconstitutional, and the court went ahead in setting it aside. So that having been done, the operational law as it is law number 8. Law number 5 of 2018. Okay. So which gives the governor powers to appoint caretaker committee. That can only be invalidated when the higher court, like the Court of Appeal, says otherwise. Then some have argued the case of Ifedayo Abegunde against Ondo House of Assembly. If you read the ratio in that judgment, Supreme Court went ahead in stating what constitutes crisis in a party. Supreme Court said the crisis must have a national outlook to the extent where the parties will not be perceived to have been existed as though before they were registered. So, and in this case, we cannot find any situation in PDP that have made PDP look like a party that is not existing. So people should stop misinterpreting the position of the law. The position of the law is very clear. The Supreme Court, yes, have declared caretaker committee illegal. Yes, that is what the Supreme Court does. What the court does is to define the position of the law. But that law, I have advocated even here on Open Conversation that the National Assembly should amend properly that section of the law to accommodate the fact that CTC should not be recognized, to withdraw powers to make laws for local government, take it away from the states. That is where the problem is. Because you cannot give the states powers to make laws, and at the same time, you are declaring actions giving them illegal. So this is a position of the law that need to be reconciled. The National Assembly, good they think there is ongoing constitutional amendment now. The National Assembly ought to amend that section of the law. Let it not be ambiguous. Let it be straightforward to the understanding of the common man. With that, all these brawlers will be resolved.
Oh, well noted, well noted. Let's move on to Kogi State. The Social Democratic Party and its candidate in the last governorship elections in Kogi State, Murtala Ajaka, has urged the Court of Appeal to set aside the decision of the tribunal affirming the victory of Usman Ododo of the All Progressive Congress. The SDP and Ajaka wants the courts to void Ododo's victory and declare them the winner of the elections held on November 11th last year. Their requests are contained in the notice of appeal they filed against the May 27th judgment of Justice Ado Yusuf Burning Kudu led Kogi State Governorship Elections Petitions Tribunal, which sat in Abuja. Looking at the merits that Murtala Ajaka is taking to the Supreme Court, I want to understand if he stands a chance, Mr. Goodluck, sir, against Usman Ododo of the APC.
Well, that of Kogi State, I may not know their strength, but since the matter is in court, it's the court or our current tribunal, the hope for the common man. Let him try his best. Let's see how he goes. That's my take. Okay. Because for Dinimilai to back out, I think he understands what will happen. That's why he back out. So let's see. Let him put on his faith and believe if the court will give him fair hearing.
Okay. Mr. Ndamze, has any political party in the opposition having going against a party that has national government and have they are in power in the central government, and they are also in power in Kogi State, and having an opposition party in Kogi State go against such ruling, does he stand a chance? The SDP, do they stand a chance to be able to unseat Usman Ododo of Kogi State, sir?
Well, appealing the judgment of a court is an equitable relief. Everybody is entitled to access to fair hearing, access to judicial interpretations. We all have the right to do, and it is our right also to approach the court when we think we have been injured one way or the other. So in this case, they have the locus. They have the proper locus standi to appeal that judgment. It is their right. And Nigerians should also believe that the courts is a court of competent jurisdiction, is a court that listens to the plea of the common man. It is a place, it's a sacred chamber where Tom and Dick can come and make presentation as to how rights have been offended and all that. So the SDP should not be deterred from challenging that judgment of the lower court, even though APC is in the center governing Nigeria. They should make an impact. They should prove their case in court. Let their lawyers dig down deep, get facts that will be admitted in court, because, you know, most people think that the court is just a place where when you come, you say whatever and the court gives you judgment. Without facts, without evidence, the court cannot give judgment in your favor. So if they dig down deep, get evidence that are weighty, they might have a way in court.
Okay. There is a question I want to ask, but I would tarry for the time being until we go for some while.
It's okay, sir.
Yes. It is still concerning the fate of the common man in the judicial system in Nigeria. But I will tarry for a while because some other stories will come up that still bear the semblance of this same one that we just addressed today. But moving on to Gombe State Governor Muhammadu Yahaya on Thursday called on the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission to look into the possibility of rewarding the state by increasing allocation to compensate for its incredible performance on social and economic indicators at national and sub-regional levels. Yahaya stated this when he granted an audience to members of the commission led by the Federal Commissioner representing Adamawa State, Salamatu Muhammad, on Thursday at the Government House, Gombe. Represented by the Secretary to the Government of the state, Professor Ibrahim Njodi, the governor observed that the state has been coming tops in so many indices, adding that the commission should look at the suitability of using such indicators as a yardstick for allocation to subnational level. The Revenue and Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission is tasked with looking into and approving the mobilization of revenue to different states and to ministries, departments, and agencies as well. Not neglecting also their duties to the National Assembly and the state houses of assembly. We are having Gombe State. Mr. Goodluck.
Yeah.
We are having Gombe State. We don't know the strength of Gombe State's IGR. But the governor is putting forward that they need more allocation. Every state needs more allocation, but he is claiming that they have performed according to the economic and social indices that he has outlined here, both at the national and sub-regional levels. Is that enough for the Revenue Mobilization and Allocation and Fiscal Commission to dole out more funds to Gombe State?
Okay, for me, looking at this, if Gombe will be asking for more funds, what will Bayelsa, Rivers, and Delta that is sustaining the country we do? Is it, well, I applaud him for speaking out, just like we are doing open conversation now. I applaud him for speaking out, but you should prove anything you are doing. You should prove. What is the proof? He should bring out more proof that he has done enough and he needs his IGR to be what? To be increased. First of all, how much are they collecting? If you have that, you have that in your record. Let's know. Do you know how much the state, Gombe State, is getting monthly? I dabbled on that. I think was it last month? I can't remember the figure. Now, it is better for them to go into agriculture. They should put their heads in different angles. I listened to a documentary from a country. One of these countries, is it I've forgotten the country. It's a young president. The guy did not drive. He said the Range Rover they gave him, that's what he's using till now.
In Burkina Faso?
Burkina Faso, God bless you. One of the problems our government is having today is this. One, as they come in, they approve SUVs. You know how much they used to renovate our vice president lodge, and the media was not allowed to cover. They will renovate a house that is already there. They will allocate money for that. They will allocate money for cars, allocate money for their PAs, allocate money for their wives, allocate money for every aspect. But they forget that they need their internally generated revenue to increase. They will not go into what they call agriculture and opening up different factories. You should not be asking for more funds when you are not doing the necessary thing. Let's ask. What is his convoy? How is it? How many convoys does he have? Go to Burkina Faso. He goes to war. He wears his military attires. Most times he goes to visit the poor. Has he gone to the villages? Those people who stood and elected him, they were in sun. They came out. Old Pope, has he gone to check how he can affect their lives before you are asking for your IGR to be increased, so that you can buy more SUVs, you can build more houses, you can divert the money. Look at what happened in this state we just talked about. The governor, the former governor, Yaya Bello, paid arrears of children's school fees 100 years to come. What are we not saying? This country, we should understand that you are elected. Okay, let's talk about Rivers State government. What happened? What did the governor said? How much was the former government realizing from the internal generated revenue? How much? And how much is it realizing now? What changed? What changed? This government should try and do the right thing at the right time. Don't wait for federal government to give you money. There is a saying that said, don't wait for what the state will do for you. Think of what you will do for the state and be remembered for. So what my advice to the Gombe State government is this. Build more factories. Go to farming. Buy tractors. Do empowerment for the youths. By that, when you do that, you will not generate tax. You will not generate revenue for yourself. That even the federal government will be envious of you, because your state is working and you are growing, you are doing well. Discover, one thing he needs to do is to discover what can make the state boom. What can be, what can make investors come into the state. You understand? You should look at those areas, not about asking for increase of IGR.
Okay, sir. Sir, Barrister Dabze.
Yes, sir.
The present economic model that Nigeria is working on, the federal economic model of the states have to go to the central to seek for funds almost on a monthly basis, and is it sustainable? Is it the way forward? Do you have any arguments against or for the present economic model Nigeria is operating on, sir?
Yes, using the case of Gombe as a case study.
Exactly.
We'll start by asking the governor, what has he been doing with the funds given to him? How well has he managed these funds on behalf of the people of Gombe State? Are people of Gombe State feeling the positive impacts of the funds released so far since he has become the governor? Has he been prompt in payment of salaries, projects that he saw or when he assumed duty as the governor?
No, what he said here is that they have incredible performance on social and economic indicators at the national and subnational level.
Those are big grammar to confuse the common man in the system. He should be very particular about what he has done with the funds received so far. If he has been very diligent with the funds received so far, on that note, he can ask for more. But I am not a champion or a crusader of governors always running to Abuja when they have all it takes to even grow more IGR more than what comes from the center. You see, you see, the reason why governors in Nigeria have not performed positively is simple. Their intent is just focused on what we can always grab from Abuja. They are not thinking outside the box. If Gombe governor is thinking outside the box, Gombe is a very fertile ground. Gombe has the capacity to grow foods that can even feed West Africa. So why is he always running to Abuja even asking for increased allocation? To do what? How has he invested on the youth development? How has he invested on IT? They should think on how to radicalize the economy. Who says that the governors cannot go out there and bring partners to come and invest on PPP or BOT, build, operate and transfer, for a number of years? No country in the world survives without public-private partnership. No country in the world survives without build, operate and take over. But here in Nigeria, we want to lump all the money into a particular sector and at the end nothing happens. They should go out there and source funds. Investors are all over the world waiting for those that can bring in sovereign bond guarantees. If you have sovereign bond guarantees ready, investors are ready to bring in their money, bring in their expertise. But we don't have governors who really mean well for the people. They just want a mass wealth to themselves, their children yet unborn. And that is a challenge. So it is very shameful what the Gombe governor is asking Revenue Mobilization Allocation Fiscal Committee to do. They should ignore him completely and allow the status quo to be maintained. He should make do with what he has and he should start thinking outside the box. If he doesn't know what to do, let him resign and allow all those who can handle the state to sit at the helm of affairs.
Well put there. Well put. Let's go to Taraba State, where there's an outrage in Taraba State following Governor Kefas Abu's appointment into the cabinet of one Shiban Tikari, who is currently wanted for alleged kidnapping and murder of a state House of Assembly member, Hosea Ibi. Tikari, who served as the chairman of Takum Local Council, was allegedly implicated in the kidnap and subsequent murder of late Ibi, who was then the member representing Takum 1 in the Taraba State House of Assembly. Ibi, while serving as a state lawmaker, was kidnapped and gruesomely murdered on December 30th, 2017, sparking statewide condemnation. Some persons who were later arrested in connection to the crime reportedly implicated the then council chairman, Tikari. A list of 134 appointees signed by the secretary to the state government, Gebon Timothy Kataps, indicates that Tikari and others would serve in various capacities ranging from special advisors to chairmen of agencies of government. However, the inclusion of Tikari, who has been at large over his alleged involvement in the murder of former Taraba State lawmaker, has sparked outrage in the state, with many accusing Governor Abu of accommodating suspects in his government and aiding them to evade justice. Coming to you, Mr. Goodluck, sir. Is it that the necessary background checkups done before any appointments are made into state executive councils hasn't been done in the case of Taraba State, that there have been an outrage concerning a murder suspect being among the appointees? Wasn't due process followed?
If you ask me this now, I don't know what to tell you. You see, the problem we're having is this. I heard
although we presume him innocent until proven guilty.
Yes. I heard, when the governor of Rivers State was swearing in the new caretaker committee, I'm in a platform for Rivers State on Telegram. Somebody said, when are we going to stop these people using Bible to swear? An oath. You understand? Because they don't know what they are doing most times, because you can't do that when you know that you're using for a shrine or whatever thing to swear. You understand? You see, so the system that brings in so many of our political appointment and politician is what we really need to work on in this country. That system is something else. Now, though, I don't know, the court has not proved him guilty. Because until the court proves anybody guilty, you will not allow that person to work freely. What will you do? You will do what? You arrest him. So, if you arrest the person and the person serves his jail terms or whatever fine imposed on the person, then if you let the person go, the person can still be appointed for any position. Like you have the ex-militant. Most of them are today House of Rep members.
They had a general amnesty.
No, yes, I'm giving you
okay.
instance
okay.
Where somebody can be re-elected for such.
Okay. You
understand? So in this case, you know, somehow the government of each state influence these security persons that need to do proper checks. You know, I always hear they want to appoint commissioners for a governor. They would say, as Assembly will say, come with 13 of so document, come with 25 so photocopy of so document. Are they really going through those documents when those persons present them? That's one. So the problem we have, because this did you say is a commissioner or appointee?
Appointee.
Okay, appointee. Yes. So appointee does not really pass through the House of Assembly scrutiny. They pass through the Executive Council most times. So now the thing is this.
But all are still subject to security screening.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I say the thing is this. The police, the DSS, and whatever parastatus of this military most times are influenced by the governors. Now, this governor may have what that man, he wants him to do in his government. You know, most times we don't look about credibility. Like, now, this person is supposed to be commissioner for agric. Are you giving him that position because he merited as a commissioner for agric? Or, okay, let me use essay. You want this person to serve as essay of media to you. Is this person media inclined? Just because, one, you may have ordeals with the person yesterday, you may have collaboration with the person yesterday, and you want these persons to cover your shields. And so you just come up and bring up people with impeccable characters. If I was the one, Taraba State Governor, I would have let that man aside. In as much as people are pointing an accusing finger on him, whether guilty or not, I will keep him aside. Please, can you stay aside for my government not to have a blood stain? Because what you are bringing now, everybody is raising uproar. Everybody is talking about you allegedly, though the court has not proven him guilty yet. So because of that, please, can you stay aside? There are other things you can give him for the interim, but not to make him a public figure in your government. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Bystander Ndamzi, sir, what are the legal implications of a governor having such an appointee in his cabinet in whatever capacity, and much later the court happens to prove him guilty? Is the governor also held according to the law? Is the governor also implicated in this too?
Okay, no, I would say that firstly, the man is a suspect, okay? But the crime in which he's been accused of, it's a very heinous one. So ordinarily, a discretion would have been that the man turned himself in and clears himself from that mess. Because bringing in somebody who the public is saying is at large over a suspected crime into your government will discredit your government. So, in my opinion, the governor shouldn't have appointed the murder suspect into the government, even though the court of competent jurisdiction have not proven him guilty. it is written that he is at large. That is to say, the police is hunting him. And the responsibility is also on the police, according to the Police Act. The Act gives them power to maintain law and order in the society. So the police have the power to go after him wherever he is, fish him out, let him face the law. If the law finds him not guilty, beautiful, the governor at some time may appoint him. But if I were to be the governor, I would ask him step aside and clear his name.
If anyone takes up a case against the Taraba state government concerning this issue, can he present a very good case before the judge?
No, it will be a very bad one, because the law is very, very clear as to what can prevent anybody to be elected into a position or make that person not to be appointed into a position. It simply means that the person must have been proven guilty by a court of competent jurisdiction. If such a person is not proven guilty, you can't make a case out of it.
Okay. Be that as it may, it is still, this case has been standing since 2017. Since 2017, I mean, the police has not been able to do their duty. And the governor, maybe per se, and saying that it's a long, intractable case, decided to go ahead to appoint this personality. If it wasn't in Taraba State, let us say it was in River State, would it still stand?
No, like I said before, the only way anybody can be prevented from being elected or being appointed into any position of trust, it's only when the court of competent jurisdiction have declared that person guilty. Then in this case, he has not been arrested. So blames here should be shifted on the police.
Not the governor.
Not the governor. The police, who have failed in their own part to do their duty of hunting him down since 2017 and bringing him to the law. The governor is a civilian who may not be privy of what have happened. The governor's intention will be, okay, this person has capacity, I want him to do this assignment or that in my government. So if the public think they have anything against him, they should beckon on the police to arrest him and bring him to the law.
Okay, see, I have something to add there, because what I want to say also is this. Most times, our politicians know their cycle. And maybe somebody is shading him from arrest. Yes. Somebody may be shading him from arrest, because you cannot say this person is guilty, and before you talk about somebody's act to the tune where the whole state is frowning for that person, that means somehow it's a known case. And for that person to be walking freely, somebody is shading him from arrest. So we should also look at our politicians that try to, some of them rather, that try to cover their fellows. What they did, take for instance, what happened to Kogi when they wanted to arrest the former governor? Who was shading him? You see? So not the governor started it. Was resisting the EFCC from arresting the former governor. So that is how these things happen, because if you know this person has it, just like now you invited me, and they are seeing me all over the world now on this program. They are seeing barristers all over the world on this program, and we leave, and somebody tells you that person you invited is not a straightforward person. No. He talks from both sides of his mouth. Will you be inviting me the next time?
Get your point.
You understand? But if now you are not the regional manager of this Arise TV, right?
No, Atlantic
Sorry,
Television.
Atlantic Television. Somebody is superseding you, and the person is my person, and the person wants me to be here at all time, what would the person tell you? Forget what people says and bring good luck to be here. That is the problem we're having in this country.
All right. We have been speaking to Barrister Ndamzi Kulu, a legal practitioner and a political analyst also, and also to Goodluck Ebimobowe Timothy, also a political analyst, on Open Conversation right here on Atlantic Television Network. Let's go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, more stories up ahead. Stay tuned.
Jack us up and down like this now.
I hope nobody carry belly.
Why you ask? Oh?
Because this road where they see, so it no guarantee safe delivery.
We just dey vote for government, but we not get good governance.
At all.
Road so no dey, light outside, the infrastructure we can't turn to be forbidden fruit for the
corruption, well everything. Hello?
Hello, madam. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Mrs. Ayeni. I am calling from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs.
Okay. Okay, I've been expecting your call.
Madam, remove this your phone from loudspeaker.
No, no, verse. Now my phone be like that. Hello?
Are you there?
I hear, I'm hearing you.
Yes. We saw a copy of your invoice for computers, printers, and laptops.
Yes. Are you working on them now?
Ma, the prices you quoted are way too high now.
Madam, sorry, please don't cost.
We found the laptop you said is 1.8 million naira for 600,000 naira.
Hello?
Now my body network there.
I can't hear you. Network is bad.
Madam, we can hear you. Continue.
Hello, I can't hear you. We call you back.
That behavior not good now.
Madam, now this kind behavior they kill our country. You suppose do things differently. Make Nigeria for better.
Corruption not in my country. This message is brought to you by the Akin Fadeyi Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
I don't get a lot. Boy, they won't booga me small. They say, man, give them bribe. I say nothing. Okay, now. We'll go block later. You remember that contract we do that time now? They don't pay.
But first, you see the house rent with the old things. We go first call caretaker, take the money, slap him.
Beg, see, you know, say I get annual levy why they pay for club. Where me and boys they shark beer in our house, I supposed to pay that one. You remember say me I tell you I go buy you motor. I go buy now.
Okay, they pay you money now. Why we don't they beg caretaker? Why would they beg landlord, old man, and they agree give us time? Money can't come now. You won't die. You said na corruption. Corruption, not in my house and not in my country.
Sure?
Sure.
Corruption not in my country. This message is brought to you by the Akin Fadeyi Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
Kasali, I hope so my car don't ready. I get interview in 30 minutes.
Okay, you don't ready. I just the last minute instruction where you give me yesterday. Now in the cause more delay.
Which instruction?
Maybe now you say make I change the meter, make you not read again.
Which time I make you change meter? Oh, Kasali, why you do like this now? You don't get sense. You know
no read the text message. Nobody I want send them to. Like I send my electrician, make it come house, call me, do my meter so that you don't go to read again. You the electrician?
Your electrician?
Yes, now.
So you call Kasali electrician, make it come help you adjust your meter, make it for no read again, Abi. So you said you want join people where be say they no want they pay NEPA bill again, Abi. Oga, you know good now. You don't use you know they behave like all these stiff people.
Oh, what you change from your motor? What you change from?
Two lights. Fuel gauge. Speedometer.
For what now? You for come out for home my motor. I bet you change for me.
Okay. Now don't do something we corrupt. Do something come backfire now go. Can't they find how to dodge them?
What you talk?
They greet you.
Corruption not in my country. This message is brought to you by the Akinfade Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
What you want to buy?
Potato. Small basket. I want plantain. But why your plantain can't hard like this?
Madam, now the outside hard, inside the it very soft.
Madam, wallahi make her no buy am. Make her show you something. What? What in be this one? Madam, this one now the chemical where they put on for the plantain make her ripe up.
So you dey put chemical for plantain where people go chop?
No water, no be chemical.
Water. You know say Pela I don't talk and say water and not be enemy. Drink am.
Where you collect that water, drink am.
I just stop finish. See my belly. After it don't big. I just stop drink water finish.
Wait, you drink am now. Wow. I dey sell am plantain I go come put am for chemical because I want to make a ripe go. That one I talk and now corruption. Corruption. Not be for this kaswa, come not be for this country. Now me take am.
Corruption not in my country. This message is brought to you by the Akinfade Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for immediate release of this minister in the Temple of Justice.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank. POS operator, she said 3,000 is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth. The oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the taunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for immediate release of this minister in the Temple of Justice.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank. POS operator, she said 3,000 is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth. The oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the taunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for immediate release of this minister in the Temple of Justice.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank. POS operator, she said 3,000 is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth. The oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the taunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
My pleasure to welcome you back to Open Conversation on Atlantic Television Network right here in Port Harcourt. We have been with Ndamzi Kulu a legal practitioner and political analyst, and with Goodluck Ebimebowe Timothy, a political analyst dissecting current affairs concerning politics of the nation Nigeria. And moving on, we have for our topic today, at this point in time, in Kano State, the Federal High Court sitting in Kano, presided over by Justice A.M. Liman, has set aside the reinstatement of Muhammadu Sanusi II as the 16th Emir of Kano. The court refused to nullify the Kano Emirate, but set aside steps by the state government in pursuance of the law. The judge, Justice Liman, however, while delivering his ruling, ordered that status quo be maintained by all parties. Meanwhile, Kano state government has insisted that the 16th Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II, remains the Emir following Thursday's ruling of the court. This is just as the government ordered the State Commissioner of Police to remove the 15th Emir of Kano, Aminu Ado Bayero, from the Gidan Nasarawa mini palace for demolition of buildings. The state's Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice, Haruna Issa Dederi, accompanied by the Secretary to the State Government, Bafa Bichi, gave the order while addressing newsmen at the government house. Yeah, Barrister, I want us to get the legal angle concerning this because it has been a long-running battle. And that question I intended to ask earlier will be asked now, but not at this instance. I want to get the first input you have concerning what is the status quo. The status quo has been an issue because even in River State here, everybody makes do with what they quote to be the status quo. Status quo is now ambiguous. In this case, is it ambiguous? What is the status quo concerning the 15th and the 16th Emir of Kano? Who is or who is not, sir?
Thank you. We'll start by, dissecting what happened in Kano. What happened in Kano is simple. The previous administration of Governor Ganduje, the government then made a law decentralizing the Kano Emirate by creating more emirates, okay? Thereafter, deposed Emir Sanusi. So now, the current government has now made a new law amending that House of Assembly law that created more emirates. So they have nullified or reviewed that particular law and brought back just one emirate system in Kano. And thereafter, reinstating Emir Sanusi and deposing the other. So now, you see, that sparkled off controversy in Kano that led to people burning of houses, looting of shops, and all that. So now, the matter has gone to court, and the Federal High Court have just, nullified the reinstatement of Sanusi, but did not nullify the emirate system. So that is to say, the Kano emirate system in the eyes of the law remains one.
Okay.
And there will be one emir of Kano according to the ruling of the court. Because what the court did was nullify the reinstatement of Sanusi, but went ahead and did not nullify the emirate system as it is. So now, maintaining status quo you asked about, status quo antebellum is just simply the original position of affair before coming to court. When you hear the law says maintain status quo, that status quo simply means status quo antebellum. Maintain the original position you people were before you came. So borrowing a leaf, you said it happened in River State. That is the true position. When the Court of Appeal went ahead and said parties should maintain status quo. If here in River State we are saying parties maintaining status quo, it means Oko Jumbo remains the speaker. And the position of the High Court remains at his seat until we, the Court of Appeal, finishes this matter. So, you know, it is very clear, equity does not operate in vacuum. Somebody must be at the helm of affair while the matter is ongoing in court. So, going back to Kanu, Kanu state government, in the eyes of the law, is in contempt of the court ruling. The court have given a directive. So a law-abiding government should obey the court and not to act against the judgment of the court, going ahead, ordering the commissioner of police and all that, demolition.
Because they're about demolishing the palace of...
that will mean contempt of court, and it is not healthy for our society. We are looking at having a saner society. So why radicalizing everything?
But, sorry, sir, if you note, concerning this particular emirate tussle in Kano State, the emirship tussle,
yes,
there has been, I mean, there was a point that the commissioner of police had to even ask for help from the Ministry of Justice in able to interpret the various court judgments and court proceedings and court pronunciations on this emirate system. So if, as at now, there is still that confusion persisting and the government is still going against what it sees as a subsisting court declaration, what is the level of confidence that the average Nigerian has in the judiciary as at now?
Good. In Kanu, there were conflicting high court orders. Those orders were not final judgment of the court. There were orders made interim or interlocutory, as the case, for and against. So now, the Federal High Court was approached, and the Federal High Court, according to the Constitution, is the proper court. Proper court in the sense that when it is a fundamental rights enforcement case, both the State High Court and the Federal High Court assumes jurisdiction to try the matter. So in this case, Federal High Court is the proper court. And in rules of courts, there is what the law calls consolidation. You consolidate an action when the facts in issues and parties are same, facts and issues are identical. You consolidate the matter and hear it verbatim. So the Federal High Court have done that, and there is a restraining order nullifying the reinstatement of Sanusi, but that is not final. It is an order in interim. So instead of the Kano State government going ahead in disobeying that order, I would rather advise the Kano State governor to seek the advice of the Attorney General, whom I believe will advise them to file another motion in court to set aside what the court have just recently did.
Okay.
Instead of going ahead and being in contempt. It is not healthy for our society.
Good, well explained, well put out. But we have a report here from the People's Redemption Party asking President Bola Tinubu to shun economic policies prescribed by the International Monetary Fund. The party made the call on Thursday in a statement by its national chairman, Falalu Bello, saying failure to do so would lead to economic collapse. The PRP criticized what it described as the government's continued implementation of IMF-induced policies, which it said have caused widespread poverty, unemployment, and inflation in the country. According to the party, the removal of fuel subsidy, devaluation of the naira, and increase in interest rates are examples of IMF-prescribed policies that have exacerbated the suffering of Nigerians. PRP also accused the government of prioritizing the interests of international creditors over the welfare of its citizens. Coming to you, Mr. Goodluck, sir.
Yeah.
What the PRP is insinuating and asking the president to do, shunning economic policies put by the International Monetary Fund, does it hold water?
You see, the thing is this. Just like you have your house, before you assume position to manage, okay, let me say organization, before you assume to manage this Atlantic Television today, you should know the nitty-gritties. You should know how you can sell this office. You should know the impact you want to leave. You should know the reach and what people want. Our president should understand that the country for now rely on fuel in everything we do. So why seeking advice outside? Why taking the advice of the people you know that they are not directly in feeling what the people that elected you or people that want you to rule them need? The most important thing every leader should look at is what I want to do. What is the impact? Should I just take this advice because I want to favor one person and not looking at the repercussion it will bring to your own economy? I don't know if you're getting me. So I think what they are saying to me is right. Now, the president came in, I smiled. The day when they were inaugurating this president, I was at where they call Miss Aba Road filling station. I bought fuel. I'm using a Toyota Corolla. I bought fuel that day for I normally fill my tank, but that day I said let me just buy for 3,000, 4,000, and I bought that day. After the voice of the president's inauguration speech and said fuel subsidy removed, the following day I went back there. They don't have fuel. All of a sudden, that same station do not have fuel, and it's skyrocketed. Do you know that sometimes I use my car for inhaling because you need stream of income to help the family sustain. After the implementation of fuel subsidy removal, I have stopped. Because it's affecting and it's biting. It's biting everybody. So why not you sit down? This thing I want to do, is it favorable than listening to people? Because you want to assume like what they say is what you want to do at the time, but you're not looking at it. Is it necessary? Understood. Is it important?
Understood. Barrister, looking at the fact that every nation needs a place where they can lend money in times of distress financially, can any nation do without the International Monetary Fund? And can the International Monetary Fund be able to do business with any country that is not following their economic policies? In a few words.
Yes, you know, every country borrows money. But the thing is, this money we are borrowing, where are we putting it? Are we borrowing to fund our ostentatious lifestyle, or are we borrowing to steal it away? That should inform the decision. Before IMF, I think in my opinion, the International Monetary Fund, even though they keep doling out these monies to us, because they know what they stand to benefit, they stand to benefit the interest on the loan and other loan incentives as applicable. But in my own opinion, I think the IMF have not been very helpful to the country. In the sense that I borrow you money, I do not do a follow-up on where did you invest that money, because definitely before the money was released, they must have told IMF IMF, in line with your policies, we want to invest this money to a particular sector. IMF will dole off this money. The question is, does IMF have the right monitoring and evaluation policies to do tracking on the money released to these nations? I think they have failed in that regard, simply because their interest is on the loan and benefits they will make from Nigeria. In this instance, IMF have not been helpful because our leaders are not thorough. They are not being very honest with the monies they receive. Even the Abacha loot, they stole it away. We never had any impact. So before IMF gives this money, they should ask them, the previous ones we gave you, where did you invest it? Please, can we do a tracking of it? If that is not done, we'll just be hearing same story over and over again, and nothing will happen.
And viewers, this is where we wrap it up on Open Conversation right here on Atlantic Television Network in the big city of Port Harcourt. I've been speaking with Ndamze Ekulu Esquire, legal practitioner and political analyst, and also with Goodluck Ebimobowe Timothy, a political analyst. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here.
Thank you, Mr. Ray. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Mr. Ray.
It's a pleasure. I am Raymond Ken Mbata, your host. Do well to join us on our social media handles on Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, and on X, formerly Twitter, Atlantic TV Net, or join us on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. Peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Stay tuned for transition news coming up next.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the Temple of Justice.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank. POS operator, she said 3,000 naira is 1,000 to collect 3,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites, which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the Tonte. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all sport news.